please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subdates 230629.2. Our stealth plan appears to have worked, but we've encountered a minor problem. Subfleet didn't send them, and genuinely know nothing of the situation. Since we have proof of that, who set us up? Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we're going to start with Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina. Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-flavoured chocolates. I saw this via Sugar Tits, who had tweeted, "I doubt this tastes like your vagina, probably tastes like dried out stale kale covered carp fish." You know, she's never been one to hold back on her words. It's kind of hot. The image comes from Lad Bible that states, "If you didn't get your hands on Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle, you're in luck, as the actor is releasing a line of chocolates dedicated to her lady parts." According to documentation from the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the Goop founder has filed a word trademark application for chocolate and candy products. And what is the name she wishes to trademark? None other than "This tastes like my vagina." I'm certain a number of you would have heard of the edible anus chocolates. They are chocolates that look like someone's anus. You know, the balloon knot. But they are chocolates instead. How cool, how quaint, how totally ad-friendly to have a chocolate starfish. Yeah. So the very concept of a vagina chocolate isn't out of the realm of impossibility, especially when one is as pretentious as Gwyneth Paltrow. The chocolate-scented candle malarkey shtick thing, yeah, went down so well and was memed to high heaven. Gwyneth Paltrow's dietary requirements are also quite amusing as well, because it's not remotely safe and she knows it. But she's pretentious enough to believe that what she's doing not only saves the planet but gives humanity the added boost to their years. Right. She had also followed up the "This smells like my vagina" candle with "This smells like my orgasm." So a line of logic has been formed. If the trademark is successful, an application apparently of which was filed on the 21st of May 2020, well, people could certainly find out what Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina smells like, tastes like, is like, texture like. Small issue though. It's a Poe. This has been confirmed by Metro, who had reached out to a representative for Gwyneth Paltrow, who had stated that, well, Goop is not planning on launching any products in the chocolate category. The original claim came from The Sun, who had stated the paperwork was filed to the US Trademark and Patent Office. Okay, now I, like anyone else, love a good Poe, of course. But this one's interesting because it's not impossible to have believed she would do it. But to get something through food standards, she would have to set a rather high standard in the first place. Candles and food, very different areas. I'm sure some people have licked a candle so they could taste her, sure. But the chocolate part, well, that would be interesting. And also have to abide different rules in different countries. So basically in America, just load it with corn syrup and you're fine. And the UK, well, we have higher standards for chocolate, so get good scrub. I thought I'd start with a Poe before we move on to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, because there's nothing wrong with a little light-hearted banter at the beginning. So according to the BBC, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have agreed to a cage match. This one throws me a bit. Okay. Two of the world's most high-profile technology billionaires, Elon Musk and Zuckerberg, have agreed to fight each other in a cage match. Elon Musk posted a message on his social media platform Twitter that he was up for a cage fight with Mark Zuckerberg. Mr. Zuckerberg, boss of Facebook, Instagram, I believe also WhatsApp, the parent company Meta, cool name, then posted a screenshot of the tweet with the caption, "Send me a location." A Meta spokesperson told the BBC the story speaks for itself. Elon then replied with Vegas Octagon. The Octagon is the competition mat and fenced-in area used for UFC. The UFC is based in Las Vegas, Nevada, unless it involves John Jones, in which case the fight magically takes place in any other location because a drug cheat has to be championed. Elon Musk is turning 32 at some point. He also tweeted, "I have this great move that I call the Walrus. Why just lie on top of my opponent and do nothing? Sounds like his sex life, I think. He also tweeted, I almost never work out except for picking up my kids and throwing them in the air. Mark Zuckerberg is 39 years old and has been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, was it? He even recently won a Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Part of me thinks this might be a joke, but if it happens, I would very much like to see it, if only to watch two billionaires slap each other. Because why not? This is where a fight can be made because they're already wealthy. You don't need to ply them with money to get them to fight. The money is not the motivator, right? It's a great idea, whereas in boxing and mixed martial arts, a lot of the issues do center around pay. And that's understandable, because they're not billionaires. And they're not Floyd Mayweather and able to blow $1 billion without really realizing you've blown it. But when he has finished blowing that $1 billion, I look forward to the day he collects welfare. Twitter did not provide a statement when contacted by the BBC though for a comment. The exchanges have since gone viral, with social media users debating who would win the bout. Others just posted memes, which is what you should do. This is not something where you're going to be like, Musk is going to chin him. Musk has no fighting background. He's a nerd. Zuckerberg does, but that doesn't mean he has a good chin. He's trained in jiu-jitsu, he's younger, so money would be safer to place on him. There is some logic to it. However, I think it's funnier to meme it, because seriously, two nerds getting in a ring? One had to take up jiu-jitsu later in his life just to give himself an air of I'm tough. That robot doesn't know how to drink water. Go figure he'd be good at a martial art that requires some precision to it. All you have to do is make sure on the day of the fight he's had an oil change and he's golden. In the case of Musk, he needs to hope that oil change is delayed till after the fight. We can't have an unnecessary rehydration. One needs as many advantages as they can get, right? Now, I had assumed the reason this was touted as an idea, a laughable one at that, was because Meta recently showed staff plans for a text-based social network design to compete with Twitter. It would allow users to follow accounts they already follow on Instagram, and it could potentially allow the company to bring more followers from the decentralized platforms such as Mastodon, which I thought was a really good metal band. Conceptual, but very good, worthy of the Grammy they've won. At the same time, we also know that Blue Sky and Mastodon exist. You've got Truth Social, you've got Parler, Gab, Minds. I know some of those are a bit too small or a bit too one-sided, but they are competitive platforms to an extent within their own little echo chambers or fields. Now, what makes this rather amusing is that Elon Musk's mother is essentially trying to stop it, but with jokes. Let's just concede the bants. Lex Fridman had tweeted, a jiu-jitsu match between Zuck and Elon would definitely be a fun plot twist in this simulation, I'm all for it. Retweeted by May Musk, don't encourage this match. No Jerome Powell, heart. May Musk retweets, actually I cancelled the fight. I haven't told them yet, but I will continue to say the fight is cancelled just in case. Elon Musk, fire emojis. Reply, retweet even. A verbal fight only, 3 questions each, the funniest answers win. Yeah, who agrees? Now I am all in favour of these two, Musk and Zuckerberg, having a debate instead just for the bants. Maybe a rap battle, or a comedy roast back and forth. I would be down for that. I'd love to watch that. First of all, it would humanise two people, one especially who is not human, and the other who does meme a lot on his own platform. It would show a side of people we don't see. If we're meant to believe that Zuckerberg is a tough guy, it'd be nice to also believe he could actually be human at the same time. And I love that Elon Musk's mother is trying to cancel the fight by using parental privilege to do so. While noticing the boxer Canelo was trending, in that, I noticed something concerning Bud Light. The reason why is Modelo Especial has surpassed Bud Light to become America's top-selling beer. This probably shouldn't be as much of a thing as it is, because Modelo, for the most part, is an Anheuser-Busch thing, yeah? So it doesn't really matter too much. Obviously the tweet that tied it to Canelo was, Latinos ain't gonna stop drinking this though, you gotta get Canelo to join the boycott. Why bother? Canelo is semi-well respected, yes, in Mexico, but for most of his career he wasn't. Because he was the wrong kind of Mexican to a lot of Mexican people. And he's also on the downward tick. Like, seriously, his form has not been good of late. Interestingly, a chief marketing executive for Bud Light, or Anheuser-Busch, has called the boycott over Bud Light an important wake-up call for brands to be very humble. And just to give this the context, one Instagram post from Dylan Mulvaney was enough to absolutely tank Bud Light. So Marcel Marcondes said, "In times like this, when things get divisive and controversial so easily, I think it's an important wake-up call for us marketers, for us to be very humble." These comments were made while Marcel was receiving the Lion Award as the most creative marketer for a second year running for Anheuser-Busch. And this award is considered the advertising world's version of Oscars. I thought I'd insert this now, because we're going to go to one that confused me a little bit, but actually tickled me to no end concerning a bagpiper on Instagram called Piper Alley. On the screen now you see Piper Alley playing her bagpipes. She's playing 5 songs, well, Metallica songs you didn't know could be played with the bagpipes. I remember seeing this originally. What I didn't see was the subsequent post. I actually saw this on Twitter, because what had happened was somebody got a bit snarky in the replies by saying bagpipes don't belong in Metallica. James would not approve. Well, I got the screenshot of that, because IR smirked. Metallica replied to that person by saying, "This guy doesn't speak on our behalf, you're awesome," which is one of the biggest clapbacks you could ever be on the receiving end of. And it's funnier when you find out that the person who had made the initial comment has essentially, because of Metallica, erased their existence off of Instagram. There's a feck around find out graph somewhere. It applies to this. And there's a reason why. Because they played Bon Scott's bagpipes before their shows. The guy even tried to argue with Metallica, which is arguably one of the funniest parts about the entire exchange. There's a level of, I know this better than you. You may be the band that I'm defending here, vehemently defending, while you're busy appreciating the bagpipes, which, by the way, exquisitely played. But I know this better than the band who's playing. Oh my life. I'm starting to understand why you deleted your account. Because you got clarted by Metallica. For the sake of music, yeah, Metallica have changed a little bit of late. They're not as big a dickheads as they used to be. They're still dickheads in their own right, and they're well within their right to be that. They've earned the status. And a lot of the more recent albums they've put out, the last 3 especially, haven't been as well received. Now, I came in at Death Magnetic. I didn't care about all the earlier stuff. I still don't, though, to be honest. I'm quite fond of the 3 they've made that I like, but that's just me. I still think musically they're very talented. I do think that with the newer stuff, the 5-syllable verse lines, really great, but it suits the format, the kind of music they make. And to see appreciation creatively done through other mediums like the bagpipes, and to be respected by the very band that an homage has been paid towards, is fantastic. It's great for the bagpiper in question, because it will invigorate them. I'll link their Instagram if you don't know who they are. You should go follow them.